Thank you very much, colleagues. We are just going to give a few remarks on international matters, but the way we're going to do it is to actually DSG, who is the head of the NEC Subcommittee on International Relations and is the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, DSG1, will then field questions. And the best way to start, and I'd like to give SABC the first SABC.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Nomvula. Just your comment, of course, the American stance, the issue is still a thorny issue and is still continuing. Lately, it's been indicated that Elon Musk is saying that his company Starlink could not operate in South Africa because of his race, of course. Just your comment on that.
Should I respond to it? Okay, thank you very much and good morning. Firstly, we must appreciate that Americans went to elections. Americans elected the Republican Party in the person of President Donald Trump of the United States of America. They didn't elect Elon Musk. And out of their own processes, they've opted to operate in this particular fashion. Secondly, that as the ANC, as this country, we are a nation that is known that we have come from a very deep-seated, institutionalized system that was based on race and hatred of the majority of South Africans, black people in particular. But that as the ANC, we are one of those parties that just on the basis of our existence, we exist to unite the people of South Africa irrespective of race. And therefore nothing that has to do with us involved in anything can have an aorta or inclination towards discrimination on the basis of race. What Elon Musk is saying, who is a former South African, has no bearing in anything that we are about. We have a trade relationship that is of mutual benefit to the United States of America and South Africa. You will remember, if you've been following, that even at a time when the president was there during UNGA, they actually had meetings on the sidelines of UNGA when the South African delegation met with other bodies and institutions of the United States. And again, in our spirit, we even said to him through the president, you have a responsibility to strengthen our relationship through your business. And therefore, nothing that has been said can actually be attributed to us. And I think you yourselves, as a public broadcaster, you know that this is not even a reflection of the policies of this country, of what the ANC stands for, and what the majority of white Afrikaner South Africans stand for. So it should be something that tells us more about the men.
Let's talk about SWAPO in Namibia. They've elected a woman. Are we beginning to see a change where we see the SADC countries, of course, giving women a chance to lead?
You know, the struggle for the emancipation of the people of Namibia also had to do with the emancipation of the women of Namibia, just like the ANC. And therefore, there's so much similarity between ourselves and SWAPO, both in terms of politics, in terms of how we see the world, but also in terms of how we see our nation. The comrade who has now been elected a president of SWAPO got democratically elected as the president of the country. She has come through the ranks of the organization. She has not been handpicked as a woman, but she's a woman like me and Matlengi who are active in the organization, and the organization saw it fit to have a female spokesperson. And this is what we must celebrate, because what has been missing is the face of the party. And this is what we must learn. We must learn and we must celebrate the fact that SWAPO has led the race, and this is our victory. All of us, revolutionaries, feminists, liberation movements, because it confirms that we are not reluctant or hesitant to see leadership of women in any of our organizations. So we will learn from them. We have learned from them. We have even looked at how going to elections, they went out of their own way to process her nomination as a woman candidate. The ANC is celebrating because she's also our president, because we claim SWAPO, and we believe that even in the ANC it is possible. In this country it is possible. In the continent, in that UN, one day we must have a Secretary General of a woman. To make peace in this continent, the face of poverty, the victims of instability in this continent and anywhere, it's women and children. And we are sure that Comrade Nandi will actually cement what SWAPO has already planted and put the emancipation of women, as we have said, as part of the struggles for the emancipation of the people of Namibia.
Just last one, but I'm not sure if it falls under international.
SAPC is stretching it now. I've got ENCA there at the back. Let's keep it short.
She's not sure.
Just last one. Are you confident that the budget will be tabled?
Listen, the budget will be presented, and please book your flight to go there.
Thank you, DSG.
Koke from ENCA. Let's talk about South Africa's dedication to the US. Some people are saying it's not worth it to send it there because Trump continues with his fake narrative. What is the ANC view? Should the South African government stop engaging, because clearly diplomacy has failed?
Again, part of what we need to appreciate is how smart and diplomatic is the South African government, and we support the approach, because yes, sending a delegation to the United States can be something that we assume is the only way of communicating. We must remind South Africans, we have an ambassador, we have an embassy, we have a consulate in the United States of America. The consulate's business is to interact with people in the business sector, in people who are related with us on trade. We have a functioning consulate. We have an embassy. We have an ambassador who's down there. So, in fact, we are highly represented than people who book a flight and leave and come back. And therefore, part of what we are supporting as the ANC is what the Department of International Relations and Cooperation has said. The Trump administration must set its systems up so that then we can relate with the trade office on issues of trade. For now, there's no office that deals with trade, because we have a binational agreement with the United States of America. And we're looking forward to enrich that binational agreement. On the other side, Comrade Parks, as the Minister for Trade and Industry, up until just last week, has been in touch with the Americans. Work is continuing, because we have a functioning government in this country. We have a functioning government. It will not need just to send a delegation as and when the need arises to go and confirm what we are doing, or even them coming, because it can't just be a one-way traffic, or even them, because the other reality is that here we do not have an ambassador as yet of the United States of America, because then that would have also been an easy way of communicating. So in the midst of all this, I'm sure you've also seen what the court in the United States of America has said, that there has been an overreach around the issues of the US aid. There's been an overreach. So the ANC supports institutionalized mechanisms of relating on these matters. We have systems. The ANC is in touch with the South African Business Chamber of Business that is in the United States. We are in touch with others who we have historical relationships with, because we are not anti-America. What we are anti is bullying. What we are anti is disrespect of sovereignty. What we are anti is a situation where a minority believes that they can create instability in this country by going and meet. We don't even know who they met, by the way, those who went. Even the DA has not told who did they meet. They keep saying we met senior people. We have an ambassador who talks with the administration. And what has been good is that the option of sending a delegation has not been put aside, but us working through the right channels, you can now see, even within its own system in America, some of the pronouncements have not actually been condoned. We are also as yet to receive formal correspondence about these things that you find on tweet.
If we still have time, can you engage us on the upcoming visit by Ukraine President Mr. Zelensky?
We discussed and we support the visit. Remember, we are non-aligned in this. And remember, we're the first to go when it was not fashionable. We took a risk. The ANC called for South Africa to intervene, and our president and the South African government went. And therefore, even under these circumstances, we are not taking sides and we are not taking cue from anyone. We are pursuing our foreign policy. So we're looking forward to him coming and give us a progress report about some of the commitments he had made in our relationships, including ourselves as the ANC. By the way, we have been involved on the rescuing of children in Russia, working through women's organizations from South Africa and the United Nations to deal with the issues, social issues of victims, particularly women and children in this conflict. And it's things that we really want everybody to appreciate. Our foreign policy and what we do is informed by us and not by how somebody else with his foreign policy and his sovereign priorities wants to relate with any other country. So we support that visit. It has to happen. It must happen because we made a commitment. He made a commitment. Good that is coming to brief us.
Thank you very much. I'm rounding off. I was about to remind you of a press briefing at 4 p.m. I'll indulge you very quickly.
Okay. DSG, the progress report on the issue of the asylum we have in DRC for their return and all those things.
Listen, we got a brief, and we believe that government is handling the process adequately. And three things that we want to caution: issues of military, issues of defense. We are not there just as South Africa. We are there as part of an arrangement that is a regional arrangement. Our issues are being presented in those meetings. You remember there was a meeting for the first time of SADC and the East Africa community. We facilitated that, and therefore all these matters, there will be another meeting, and we agree that we must continue to call for the silencing of the guns. We must continue to call for peace and harmony, and we must also support the call that has been made that in a conflict situation, finally people must come together and engage. And therefore we support the call that the DRC government must actually engage with M23 in line with the outcomes of that joint meeting of both SADC and East African Community Development.
Thank you very much, Comrade DSG. Colleagues, we are